Right, and we should be back. We are back. And we've got coming up here Boring Cactus with Sayonara Wild Hearts, which, like I said, is a game I've never heard of. This should be exciting. Uh, but before we get started with that, we have a donation for this game, for this runner, from Dan T, a $50 donation. Sayonara Wild Hearts community is the best. Thanks for putting this to such wonderful cause. And come join us if the game catches your interest. Well, thank you very much for the generous donation. And it looks like we have the screen all set up. We're all ready to go. Boring Cactus, feel free to take it away.
Okay, what is up, gamers and gentlemen? I am your friendly neighborhood succulent, Boring Cactus. I use Z here pronouns. And on the couch with me is JPJ.
Hello. I use any pronouns.
And we are bringing you Sayonara Wild Hearts, which is a super visually stylish, well put together game that's just, I love it so much. I could probably fill all 2 hours and change of this run just by geeking out about how much I enjoy this video game. But yeah, so this game is it's structured as an album and also a video game, and so the structure of this run is going to be that we're going to play the first we're going to play all the levels as singles, and then we're going to play them together all in a row. Any percent, we would just play all the levels, but this category is not any percent, this is all riddles. We are looking for the Zodiac riddles, of which this game has 24, and we'll show you what those look like in a minute, but the donation incentive that we had for this game was met. And so we are going to be watching all of the cutscenes, including the opening cutscene, which should be starting to play right now.
Not long ago, in a town much like yours, there was a young woman who was very happy. Until one day her heart broke so violently that her sorrow echoed through space and time. So our saga begins tonight, yet eons ago, just here, yet light years away.
Okay, so that is our opening cutscene, and we have some context. This game, we'll get into this a little bit more later on, but this game is textually about dealing with depression, and that is one of the things that I really like about it. And so these are the Zodiac riddles that the game has. And there are 24 of them, and they have a zodiac sign and some hint text. So the hint text for the first one that we're going to get is, I took 12 quick breaks. And so that hint is trying to get us to say something, or to do something in the game that we would not ordinarily likely be doing. And so some of the hints are fairly self-explanatory. Some of the hints are a little more complicated. There are a couple that you kind of have to Google if you want to understand what they're trying to get you to do. And we're going to go for all of them. So these are the game's achievements, and we're going to be getting all of them. So this is the closest category that anybody really runs to 100% for this game. JPJ did a 100% run one time. Are you interested in doing more 100% running, JPJ?
Maybe at some point in the future, but I mean, because nobody else has really done one, there isn't really competition, and it's mainly would just be this run with extra steps. So
Yeah, because 100% requires both extraordinarily good scores and all of the stuff that we're about to do. And there are people going for extraordinarily good scores in the community. There are people going for all of the riddles in the community. JPJ is the only person who does both. JPJ has the world record in this category right now. But I think that's about as much prelude as actually needs to be given, and probably more than that. But this is my first marathon run. We learn as we go. So yeah, so this is the first song and the first level, and timing starts when I press space to start it, which is going to happen in 3, 2, 1, now. And we're going to watch this cutscene.
A harmonious universe existed beyond ours, and 3 divine arcana watched over it. But one night a cursed arcana intersected the astral highways, and along with her star-crossed allies, they stole all harmony and hid it in their vile hearts. Before the divine trio started to fade, they created a heroine from the shards of a broken heart, and hoped that she would one day be strong enough to save their world.
So we play as the Fool, this girl who's just kind of vibing in bed here. She's got her skateboard. She's been visited by a magical butterfly.
Right now, though, she is not the Fool. She is Lorelei, as Calame found when data mining for this game.
Oh yeah, so we're going to pause a dozen times, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and that's going to give us credit for our first riddle. Because I took a dozen quick breaks, was trying to get us tell it to spam pause a dozen times. And so now we have done that. And so now we are into the actual level itself. So if anybody watching is kind of familiar with like audio surf, then some of this is probably looking a little familiar. And mechanically, that's the closest comparison I'd probably make. The shortest explanation I have for this game is like it's like if Audio Surf had a story mode, but there's really a lot more to it mechanically than this that's going to come up later in the run. And we're going to start to see some of that in the later levels. For this one, we're going side to side, we're grabbing points, we're hanging out, we're spamming pause. We're picking up the butterfly, and we're actually going to do a bit of tech. So there's the Fool, and we have now become the Fool. And so we just got the gold rank pop-up text. We're going to quit to menu, start the level again. We've seen this cutscene, so we can legally skip it now. And this time we're trying to get as few points as possible. So if you'll see in the bottom left, the place where we are is the Bittersweet Starway. And the hint text for the next riddle we're going for is, there is no space for me on the podium of a starway. And so that is trying to get us to get, because this is the starway, and so no space on the podium, no, not a gold rank, not a silver rank, not a bronze rank, but no rank at all. And so we need to get as few points as we can. JPJ, what's the cutoff for bronze again?
5,000 for this level.
So we need to get under 5,000 points, which we are on pretty good pace to do.
Yeah, the way the scoring system in this game works is each of those small hearts is the first is worth 1, the second is worth 2, the third is worth 3, and so on. So picking up 3 gets you 1 plus 2 plus 3 points, and the big hearts work the same way, but they're worth 25 at the beginning, and then 50, then 75. Then the square coins, there were 2 of them in this level, are 1,000, 2,000, and so on. And
So
then
this
there are
is-
some more things.
So this is Heartbreak Subspace, specifically the Devil Passage. So we're going to land on this card, which is the Devil. And then we're going to go surfing. So yeah, the main, as JPJ was saying, the main ways you get points, small hearts, big hearts, and square coins. There are also smaller things like this level has teleports. The first one was worth 100, and they keep going up by 100 every time. And these square coins are important not just because they give you a whole bunch of points, but because one of the riddles is to get all of them in the singles. So if I ever miss one of them in this part of the run, which I am likely to do at some point, then I'm going to have to restart the level and go back for it. And another thing we need to do is get a gold rank on all of the levels. And the reason we're quitting to menu there, actually, JPJ, can you explain Risky Risky?
Yeah, so this level, Doki Doki Rush, is the first level where you can die. And with the ability to die also comes the ability to get Riskies, which are worth a flat 50 points. And they don't combo or anything. So one of the riddles is on this level to get 20 of those Riskies. And in addition, we are also trying to get the gold rank, which is 30,000 points on this level. But
15, 16, 17, 18.
If he dies while doing it, then you would not get the riddle, and you would also have to restart. And in the earlier stages of this run, we would actually not do this the first time. We would, because we are coming back to play this level again, and so this time we would only focus on getting the 30,000 points, and then later
I skipped that cutscene. I wasn't supposed to do that. Yeah, see, usually we skip the cutscenes, and I only practiced once not skipping the cutscenes, so I have to fight muscle memory, and sometimes muscle memory wins. I'm also going to go for all goods on this level, because there's a riddle to get all goods on this level. Can you explain that one?
Right, so this level introduces quick time events, which essentially it prompts you to press space or enter, and if you do it within some time frame, the lowest you can get is 50 points, which is okay, and then there's good, and then there's perfect, which is
Yeah, and there I got one perfect, which means that I didn't get the riddle.
This riddle is the least fun.
Okay, we can grumble about it later. As it stands, this is like the only glitch that exists in the run, and we don't know how consistent it is because it works for me on my computer, but it doesn't work for JPG on their computer. So we're going to faceplant into that wall there, and we're going to quit out to menu, and then we're going to start the level again like normal. Because the reason that we do that is that the riddle that we're going for on this level is to get a gold 3 times in a row. But for some reason, if we die there and quit to menu, it gives us credit for the first one. And so we're going to only have to get a gold in this level twice in a row, which is good because this level is the second longest in the game. And so this segment used to be really long and annoying and tedious because we had to play the same really long level 3 times in a row. And by really long, I mean like 4.5 minutes, but it adds up fast.
And yeah, so cutting it down from what 13.5 minutes to like 9.5 is very nice, because like this level is wonderful. It is great. It is tedious to play it 3 times in a row. Like every time you do it.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the first boss fight level in the game. So it is the first song with vocals, and it is the first one where we have that prompt that we just hit, where it asks us to, like, instead of having a normal QuickTime event where we press space once and we resolve it, it gives us an opportunity to spam, and we have to spam and get more points the harder we spam.
And that works. It sort of combos like the rest of the it combos like the little parts, or 1, 2, 3, and so on for each press within that time frame. But we actually have multiple of them, and they don't keep that combo. So the next one is going to start at 1 again. And then you also get either 100, 250, or 500 points, depending on how many presses you got overall. So I believe it's like 5 to 14 is 100 extra points, 15 to 30 is 250 extra points, and above 30 is 500.
So yeah, the boss fight KOs themselves combo within themselves, but they don't combo across instances of it. So if you have more than one in a level, as JPJ was saying, the combo resets. And there's at least one other mechanic that works the same way coming up several levels later. But yeah, this is kind of the first level where the game really comes together all the way. Like, the levels coming up to this, the visual design and the soundtrack and the mechanics are mostly coming together, and it's like, oh yeah, this game has some interesting ideas going on. And this is really the first level where you go, whoa, that's what this game is doing. At least that was my experience. This is the level where I went from, oh, that seems kind of nifty, to, ooh, yes, this is absolutely one of the best games that I've probably ever played. So we get gold rank. Wait, we played it once. And we got credit for Leo A.
What the?
Okay, so that's
Cool.
weird. That's the better kind of this has never happened before. Okay, so we're now in the Heartbreak subspace moon something. Okay, Leo A is begin again, right?
Yes.
Okay. What?
Unless
Okay,
you got credit for 25 slides on Transonic, which
I
would
did
be
not.
even weirder.
So that's something.
That. All right. We we were not prepared for that.
This is the good kind of that's never happened before.
Just remember to do one punch on Cerberus next time.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a riddle that we usually go for in the second iteration of that. Oh, I skipped the cutscene. Bad cactus, no. So that is the Emperor. Is a deer or an elk or something. And we get to chase it down on our motorcycle, which was the Wheel of Fortune. But yeah,
This game and like the characters inside it are very like they're all based on tarot cards. And there's a lot of symbolism. I am not very familiar with tarot, so I don't know a lot of them, and like the deeper meanings of what all these represent. But I have heard there's a lot of symbolism and stuff going on, and I can understand some of it. But you will see that, like, with all these cards, there's they're tarot cards, mainly the major arcana, and all the bosses and everything.
Yeah, RIP monitor users. This level always hurts my eyes.
Congratulations, Miller, you got a wild on that.
Oh, nice.
So you got the secret fourth rank. Oh, we forgot to put a warning. If anyone has
Yeah, they asked about it in the before the marathon started, and I mentioned that it's got a lot of flashing lights.
Okay, did they? That is good. This level in particular is very
Gold rank.
Okay, so we've just spawned some wolf bots, and now we have Judgment and Justice, which are going to be lasers on the sides of our motorcycle. And unfortunately, we cannot pet the wolf bots, we have to shoot the wolf bots. Okay, so this level is really hard to get a gold on consistently. And we need to get a gold on all the levels to unlock one of the arcade modes that we use down the road. But I should be on a pretty good pace.
yeah. This is looking good for So I think some people have been asking about what that glitch was in the chat, because it caught us really off guard. We were supposed to play that one level, Begin Again, 3 times in a row, and get gold rank on it each time. Previously, we had found that we could die at the beginning, put to menu, and that would skip one of them. But apparently we did that and then only did it once, and that we had no idea what happened there. And we are now on Devon.
So yeah, the city environment that we were in the last act of the game was very like shiny and neat and well designed, and I really like the way that they designed the forest too. It's very neat. I'm gonna be spending the rest of the run wondering what on earth that glitch was that gave us, like, it glitched even harder than we expected it to. So we're not gonna do anything here until it slows down and waits for us, and then we're going to hit the button, and that'll give us a riddle for with the lightest of efforts I knock it out.
And
So that's a gold rank.
normally we do that. Normally we do that one in Begin Again, because it actually works for any of the three boss characters, but we were not expecting to not have to do that a second time. We weren't even sure if we would be able to skip one of them. Yeah, if we refer to the glitch, unless another one comes up, that is what we are referring to.
Yeah, because this category existed since like mid-February, and we haven't had like anything beyond micro optimizations and routing optimizations until we found that when I was getting, like, when I was starting to de-rust and JPG and I were commentating. And so yeah, that for a while there wasn't like, because this game, as you've noticed, is basically an auto-scroller, and so the question of how to make an auto-scroller speedrun interesting from a speedrun perspective. Oh, we're gonna quit out to menu and let the menu music play out in its entirety. Oh, and I'm getting word that we have quite a substantial audience, so hello to all of you who have tuned in, wherever you're coming from. Nice to see y'all. And so, the riddle that we're going for right now, the hint text is, I heard her sing goodbye before the journey to the sky began. And the I heard her sing goodbye half of that is the listening through the menu music in its entirety, which is the title on that is on the soundtrack is Sayonara Wild Hearts, and that line shows up in the song itself right now. And so goodbye sayonara, goodbye Japanese, so hearing her sing goodbye is listening to the menu music, and then the journey to the sky I forget the exact thing that that's referencing, but we're about to see it in a minute, because I never knew until, like, we were practicing the version of this where I don't skip the cutscenes. And so the intro music has played out, and so we can start the level Hearts and Swords and get credit for the riddle. Twilight Cry Sky. So that is the part that is Journey to the Sky. Okay. And so that's that riddle. And so...
And normally here, we would get the cutscenes riddle, which is, if I can find it. I was consecutively in a hurry in 10 different places, Aries B, which is to skip 10 cutscenes in a row. Because as we've seen, you can, most of the cutscenes in this game, if you pause, you can skip them, and we usually do that. But we did not this time, because they offer context because of the mission center. But normally, by here, we would have accomplished that already. But we will actually be backtracking after we finish all the levels to go and get that one.
Yeah, the cutscenes, that is the slight routing change that gets made to this run when the donation incentive gets met.
This level is absolutely wonderful. It is probably, I think most people, I'm not going to make that claim, but I've heard a lot of people say that it is their favorite, like, non-vocal level, or their favorite level in general.
Yeah, I'm definitely on that list.
It is, like, so interesting. Like, visually and gameplay-wise. And also the sort of the clap and the ostinato in the background that highlights the beat. I'm not sure if I'm using those music terms correctly.
Yeah, that one's my favorite non-boss level. The boss levels are kind of all really good. So yeah, we were explaining other stuff when the sword first showed up, and so I didn't get to point it out. But the sword comes from the Judgment card, and so now we have a sword. And the bosses here, the Stereo Lovers, also have swords.
And they are, of course, the Lovers card.
And now, by their powers combined, they have bigger swords.
One theory is that, like, there are five bosses, plus the final boss, which is like sort of an amalgamation, I guess.
Even bigger sword, that's an airplane. Our tiny sword is also a tiny airplane.
But about one of the meanings of this game is that each of those bosses represents like the 5 stages of grieving: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. And this song rather, is about some sort of relationship that is in some way fake. It has ended, but it is very interesting.
I don't think I'd actually heard that before. That totally makes sense.
Which one? Which part?
All of it. Like the concept of reading the 5 acts is the 5 bosses is the 5 stages of grief.
Yeah, and that one, particularly being bargaining, is very, very lovely.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's fake. A love to own cronies is very. It's pretty straightforward when it's getting across. But now we are on Heartbreak 4.
Okay, and so the reason we quit to menu at the end of every level is because if we don't, then it'll show the level exit animation, which takes some time, and it'll also do a slow pan to the next level, and the announcer, who's voiced by Queen Latifah, actually, will read off the name of the level, and that's all slow. So by quitting to menu, we skip that. And so we have the chariot that has spawned in and is a cool car. And so yeah, the drifting that the car here can do works kind of like the boss KOs in that the drift combos with itself, but the combo resets when the drift ends. And so if I start drifting, you'll see that I start at 1 point and it goes up by 1, but if I start drifting, it restarts at 1. So yeah, that's the way that mechanic works. Okay, and I'm not going to whiff this last coin. I miss this coin a lot of the time, but I didn't miss it this time.
That coin, we did not talk about tree coin. There's just so much to talk about in this game.
We'll get to it next time.
Yeah. Yeah, but that coin right there is known as Road Coin 3. And some of these coins do have names for themselves because they are difficult or notorious for some other reason.
Yeah, there are a couple of coins that have names, but none of them are quite as notorious as Tree Coin, which we will explain later on.
There is, yeah, the fan art for Tree Coin.
Yeah.
Oh, we are in the video game now.
Yeah. We got turned into a video game cartridge, and now we are in the video game. This is virtual reality at its peak. Okay, so this coming up is one of the more difficult to get by accident, shall we say, riddles. I think this one might be the one with the least clear hint text.
Reborn in a daydream, my secret is in the left eye 4 times.
So we've just gone through the left eye 1 time. We're going to faceplant into this wall. We're going to go through the left eye a 2nd time. We're going to faceplant into this wall. We're going to go through the left eye a 3rd time, and we're going to faceplant into this wall. And then something interesting is going to happen. The magician will show up.
So this is, I'm not sure if it's specifically designed
to skip this bit.
If it might be specifically an accessibility feature, or it might just be some other gameplay mechanic, but if you die in the same place multiple times, then like the game will say, you seem to be having trouble here. Would you like to skip this part? So that is something that we will see, especially later on. We see it less here because we just don't want to die in general in this part, because we do need to get the golds. But
and one of the reasons that dying is bad is that it resets our multiplier. And so if we're like towards the end of a level and picking up a small heart gets us like 300 points, but we die, then the same small heart will now only give us 1 point. And that is unfortunate. And so usually in this stage of the run, if we die, we have to restart the level. Which is kind of annoying. Thankfully, it hasn't happened so far. Hopefully it doesn't happen on this level, because this level is kind of long. And there are a lot of places in this level that you can die if you aren't being very careful. But this level has the potential to be our first interaction to a mechanic that I'll introduce if we get the chance to do it. We will be seeing it at some point in the run eventually.
Yeah, it looks like you probably will be doing it.
Just one or both?
Actually, I'm not sure if the first one is, good anymore.
Oh. Oof, that was close. But yeah, so the cutoff for gold on this level is it 70k or is it 60?
70.
Okay, I was pretty sure. And so usually we get to the cutoff for gold late enough in the level that you kind of just have to play all of the level. But now we are at 71,000 points. And so if we were to finish the level right now, then we would have a gold. And so this segment is slow, and so we're going to call for help from our magician friend. We're going to faceplant into those a couple times, and this time we will say, yes, magician, please skip that bit, it's slow. So now we got our gold rank, and we didn't have to play the entire level.
And when we will come back and play that level once again, but we will be seeing far less of it.
So this is the star. And out of the star dropped a boat, which we are using to sail on the ocean of death.
Hey friends, Cal am I joining?
Oh hey!
Yeah, sorry to show up late. I don't know if I got the time disastrously wrong or what.
I think the time may have been moved, and I didn't know far enough in advance to tell you about it. But
Okay,
yeah,
no problem.
you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Calame, he, him. I run this game primarily in score categories. I hold the world record for blindfolded percent and for a couple of the level score.
Yeah, and Calame is one of the people who was doing a lot of data mining for us to figure out more of the lore early on in the life cycle of the speedrun community. And so, like, the bosses have, like, the bosses where there are several of them have individual names that aren't present in the game textually, but you can data mine for them, and I don't remember what the names are, but Calame does, and so I'm going to put Calame on the spot and make him say what they are. And so, Calame, if you forget a couple and need to refresh your memory, I'm going to ask you, unless you would prefer that I not do that.
Yeah, fantastic. We'll go over them definitely in Album Arcade.
Yeah.
And then, did we talk about Secret Banana?
We're going to get there, I think. Yes, we're going to get to Secret Bananas, because that's one of my favorite things about this run. Okay, so we have turned up in Love Dead City. And we are hitting arrows that can flip the gravity of the level. And so it is now VVVV time, kind of. Actually, no, that's kind of the opposite of VVVV. Ignore that comparison, it was inaccurate.
That's perfect.
I guess it's like VVVV in that VVVV is good and this game is also good. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go to the right here so that we can grab that square coin, because we need all of the square coins in the game.
Also, Calamity, you were not here when we got the glitch that I believe in the speedrunning Discord, where you can skip one of the begin agains. We somehow skipped both of them, so we only had to play it once.
That's amazing. So you cancel out of the menu.
So we've got
play beginning,
Temperance.
is that right?
And Temperance is a bow. This is an archery game now, because this game didn't have enough mechanics going on already. But it's not like the Prosy D Beam where you're hunting all of the eggs, because the mechanics in this game actually kind of work together, and they're all kind of fun.
It's probably like my favorite thing about playing this game the first time, just seeing what the next mechanic was going to be on each level. I was not disappointed for a hate score.
Yeah.
And about the symbolism, this is one thing where I did talk with my friend about the tarot card interpretations here. They were summoned by the Hanged Man card, which generally is used to means that someone is like stuck on something, and then the bow summoned with Temperance implies that the Fool is sort of, I guess, tempering self-hatred. Perhaps. I don't know. Exactly.
So yeah, this game was published by Annapurna Interactive, and in the Annapurna Interactive store, they actually have a deck of tarot cards that are based on the designs in this game. They are basically always sold out, even before the quarantine was a thing, keeping a lot of non-essential businesses from being open. But I and a lot of the other people in the community are keeping an eye out for when that reopens, because those are just nice. So we're going to get a riddle here. I forget what the hint text is, but the act is to get 3 of the spinnies that we get for doing a 360 around our little tunnel.
Sagittarius B, inside I spin 1,080 degrees.
So yes, this level is called Inside, and 1,080 is presumably 3 times 360. Check my math on that one, JPJ. My brain is rusty.
Yes, it is 3 times 360. And about Inside, the lyrics are about essentially staying up late talking with someone at night and being unable to say the things that she really needs to say, because all the big words seem to stay on the inside.
And content boring and flashing lights here.
Yeah. We mentioned that when Forest Dub started. We forgot to mention at the beginning of the game, but the marathon staff asked the runners before the marathon started, hey, do y'all's games have content warnings? And I mentioned flashing lights as the big one.
Yeah, there's just a couple levels that are especially wonderful.
Yeah. Wild Hearts Never Die does the same thing that Forest Dub does, but in a way that doesn't hurt my eyes. And I don't quite understand what the distinction is there. We'll point that out when we get there. So we just punched Death in the face for like the 4th time. And you'd think getting punched in the face like 4 times would be enough. But no, now Death is scary and has wings.
I like to think Little Death is the liar tarot card, and then the Big Death is the actual death.
And so we get Clawed, we get Clawed, we get Dabbed On, and we get Dabbed On. If I had face cam on, I would be dabbing alongside the boss, but I don't, so I'm not. And so we couldn't skip the slow pan and read off the level. But we're going to go back and play Heartbreak 5. JPJ, check the hint text. We saw this level, so we can skip the cutscene.
Yes, the hint text is Sagittarius A. From a golden sun to a silvery star, I go to a tower.
So yes, the golden sun. The sun card turned up in Inside, which we just played, and we got a gold rank on that. This is the star card that we just dropped out of, and we're going to get a silver rank. And then the tower is the card that turns up in Heartbreak 3, and we're going to get a bronze on that one, and that will get us this riddle. And so my strategy to get a silver here, the cutoff for silver is 15, and the cutoff for gold is 30, so we need to get somewhere between 15 and 30,000 points. And so I play the first half of the level, first third of the level as normal, and then I have enough points, so I just want to skip the rest of the level and not get a whole bunch of points. So I neck plant into that wall there, because the fool's kind of falling neck first, which is really uncomfortable looking. And then we tell the magician, yeah, skip that bit. That's just points that we have to pick up. And now we've reset our multiplier, so the first big heart is 25 again, which means that even this whole chain of small hearts that we can't really skip very effectively isn't going to give us a whole bunch of points. And so we should be set. Yeah. Silver rank. And we put to menu 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we've seen this cutscene, so we can skip it. And then we need to get a bronze here, and the cutoff for bronze is 2,500. The cutoff for silver is 5,000, so we need somewhere in that range. And so here again, we're going to get a lot of points early, and then do a death skip in a bit. But here the death skip is before we get enough points for the rank that we need. And I have actually screwed this level up once by not getting enough points and getting no rank, which is always heartbreaking because then you have to replay inside to get the gold again and Heartbreak 5 to get the silver again so that it counts. But we just did the death skip, so our multipliers reset. And we're picking up some points, and so we should be, yep, and there's our 25. And so we're just going to play some dodgeball at this segment of the level.
Did we hit the cutscenes instead of?
Yes.
Wonderful. Don't I get a hit?
And that's bronze rank. And so now we have finished going back and revisiting old levels. And so now we are ready for Wild Hearts Never Die.
Woo. Oh yeah, get that orb.
So this is the Eye of Death. And this is another very visually intense level.
Did we talk
So we
about...
have not.
Stories, people have been competing for world records, and there was a big push to get this million when a few people blast to hit, like a whole community.
All right, so we're back, sort of. We had the stream back up. We are working on getting Boring Cactus' stream captured again. Had some kind of technical difficulty with our streaming back end, and we're picking the pieces back up, putting them back together, as one does. Yeah. Kind of a shame about that. I'm a little A little disappointed that after that ridiculous glitch that we can't really explain, saving a bunch of time, we had a technical issue, but what are you going to do? It's technology. So hopefully in the next couple of minutes we will have the stream back up and the ability to resume the run. Haven't really lost any progress. Our runner's just sitting here paused and waiting. And let's see. We do have a bunch of donation incentives coming up for our stream session tomorrow. We do shut down in the late evenings so our staff can, sleep, which is a wise thing. I do recommend getting sleep. So if you have any interest in that, you can check out the donation page, which Nightbot just so kindly dropped into chat not too long ago. There's a bunch of incentives to check out that are open there, including a bunch of naming incentives for our Final Fantasy IV NES playthrough for the entire cast. And for those of you who stopped in to see the Wild Hearts run, a little bit about the event here. We are Undefined Behaviour, showcase and speedrunning marathon centered around queering games and queerness in games. For this marathon, we're exploring glitchy, unusual, and marathon-unsafe runs, as well as adjacent and related queer gaming content. We queer games when we reject limits and rules, when we play in atypical ways, and when we read diversity into stories and themes. This is the very first Undefined Behaviour Marathon. We're excited to share all these games and showcases with you. And we will definitely be continuing that soon, and continuing through tomorrow and Sunday, and a little bit of Monday as well. So I do hope you will come back and stick with us. In the meantime, I'm gonna check in, see what's up, and just enjoy the music that we have playing for the moment, and we should be back to the run shortly. In the meantime, Calumet, who's here on commentary, was kind enough to donate $20 and say that Boring Cactus, you rock. Great job bringing Zodiac to the marathon.
Gotta love seeing this game in marathons.
Oh yeah, I love it. I've never seen this before. It's quite up my alley. Very flashy.
I joke, blindfolded is a weird way to play it, given that all of the shiny colors are the reason I play this game in the first place.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those spectacle games where like the entire engagement in the game is visual, and playing it blindfolded it's definitely a way to do it.
It's so fabulous. Yeah, blindfolded is a way to play the game you love for longer. So I'm all about.
I have noticed the community seems to be really like positively enthusiastic about it. It's something I don't see very often. Usually, a lot of game communities have that kind of like sardonic, joking disdain for their game.
Yeah, that's true. It's like nothing else. Just the level of cooperation and positivity in the community has been fascinating.
Yeah, this is the first like speed game community that I've really been a part of. It's technically my second speed game. I did one any percent run of my friend Pedro, and my time on that leaderboard stands as the worst by a long shot and twice as slow as world record. That was a game that I kind of wound up not getting as into as I thought I would. But this one, I kind of just showed up, and it was a pretty like chill, kind of small space, so there was like room for me to make an impression, and that's what I did.
It's definitely one that like I am very rarely able to like find like be comfortable in a space like this community. So like it's just something else that it was just so so warm and inviting and helpful and positive, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I came in early, so I had a score sheet of my own scores, and for a while they were kind of like the top known scores. And then onwards, Marching Fishes, Alpha Hannah, and JPJ's whole crew came in and just destroyed all of my scores, and it was great.
I love that. Someone came along and completely wrecked my scores. I loved it. And that's
I fought for the important ones, but yeah, no, I love all the things people have pulled off, even if there's something I can't do.
Yeah, it's been because I had kind of a similar experience because nobody was running all riddles when I joined the speedrun Discord. I was like, hey, the speedrun.com leaderboards have any percent and a couple any percent variations. Do y'all think all riddles would be an interesting category to run? And people were like, yeah, sounds nifty. We should do it. Okay.
Yeah, so it looks like we're gonna juggle some things here to try to get the stream back. Hold tight, chat. We're working on it. We're almost there.
I suppose now's a good time for Secret Banana.
Oh yeah. Do you want to
Yeah,
explain
sure,
it?
I can.
Sure.
Did we talk about the fool's name already?
Yeah, JPJ mentioned that.
Wonderful. Yeah, so as we were going through the code, I found something called Secret Banana, and I really wondered what that was. And I saw that there were a couple references to Secret Banana in a couple different levels. So I went crazy. I lost my entire mind trying to figure out what a Secret Banana was and where I could find one. And for a while I thought maybe it's something the developers wanted to put in but never made it into the game. Maybe it's something that's really hidden and it's going to look cool when I find it. So I tried all kinds of things. I tried modding the game. I tried looking at all different code. And eventually, I think Lanka was there with me when we were looking at it. Yep, he just posted in chat, that's right. And we found out Secret Bananas are actually just the name of the square coins, what the game calls square coins, and what look like little diamonds in the levels. Secretly called Secret Bananas.
Okay, let me interject here for just a second. It looks like the stream is back live. Let's wait for a signal from the restreamer before we get started again, but we should be ready to go soon.
Beautiful.
Terribly sorry about that. Internet, what are you gonna do, right?
Okay.
Looks like we're getting the go ahead. So, yeah, go ahead and count yourself back in, and I will slip back into a bush over here in the corner.
Okay. Okay. I'm not quite sure how much of the game we played through while the stream was down, but we're vibing. We'll come back to this level anyway. This time is gonna be an approximation. But yeah, so we're gonna hit the continue button here in 3, 2, 1, now.
This level's tough.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this segment I die on a lot if I'm not being like cautious, and I get greedy and I try and go for more points than I can safely get. We were doing practice commentary a couple nights back, and I died like 4 times in a row on that segment.
We opened with a smooch, so we are going back in the levels now, and we are now reimagining. We are now Lorelei again, and we are imagining the Fool as all the enemies that we've faced. But instead of punching them this time, we are smooching them.
Think of it as a very Celeste ending.
And so we have restored the lost harmony of the world of the Divine Arcana. We have solved other people's problems, and now we need to go get our own together.
The first time I tried blindfolded dragon, I got all of the rings, and I've never done that since.
So, we kiss a girl, she turns into a dragon, and we kiss her again as the finale of the game. Every game that doesn't end like that was made by cowards for cowards. That's all I have to say about that.
I would tend to agree with that assessment.
We could use more dragon kissing.
As someone who has a dragon girlfriend, I will concur with this. And also, I will quickly interject to thank JPJ for the $20 donation with no comment.
Awesome representation, Sayonara crew.
Okay, so after the downtime that we just had, we're going to have a couple closing cutscenes. So thank you, audience, for your patience. So we just got 2 riddles in a row. One of them was for getting all of the secret bananas, or square coins, in Wild Hearts Never Die, and one of them was for getting all of the coins in the last level, or in the whole game. And so yeah, so we learned that our protagonist Lorelei was spiraling through sadness for years and just falling deeper and deeper until she could not fall any further and fell right back into her groove. And so that kind of hits home for me, because like I came to this game at kind of a weird time in my life, because I've been kind of dealing with depression since like mid 2014, I want to say, around there, I think. And so the start of 2020, I was like, okay, no, if I'm going to make it through this year, it's going to be because I am on antidepressants. And so I was like, okay, I can't just keep waiting for this to just go away on its own. I have to acknowledge it and do something about it and chase that down, because that's the best shot I've got. And so I started antidepressants at the beginning of 2020, and within like a month later was when I started playing this game. And so I was in the process of going from years-long spirals of depression and just kind of pretending it's not happening and hoping it goes away to like acknowledging it and taking steps to deal with it. And right around the time I was starting to do that, I get to play this video game that is textually about the exact same thing. And that is neat. And so that's kind of one of the reasons why this game is so special to me. Because this game hit me at a perfect spot where it was the exact like representation of what I was doing. And so that just lined up really nicely. And I'm glad that we get to watch the cutscenes, because that means that we get to see that that's what this game is textually about. And that means I get to talk about that. So yeah, I like this game. Okay, so we've unlocked Album Arcade by finishing all the songs. We've unlocked YOLO Arcade by getting a gold rank on all the songs. And so we're about to go check those out. But before we do, we're going to do some time travel. Because the hint text, I think, is from this very spot. I went 10 years back in time.
Also, remember to do cutscenes after that.
Oh yeah, cutscenes I do after YOLO, so remind me then. But yeah, so since the Zodiac Wheel, every Zodiac stage is like one month in the year, give or take, and so a cycle of that is the full year. And so we just went 10 years back in time. So we've seen all the cutscenes. So this is YOLO Arcade. It is all of the levels back-to-back automatically, and if you die, then game over. And so there are two riddles that we're going for here in YOLO Arcade. One of them is to get 10 riskies, which we aren't going to have to consciously go for, because a lot of the levels, that the route that we take anyway just gets us that many. And the other one is to get a medal in YOLO Arcade. And spoilers, we're going to go for bronze, because that one's the easiest. And so the cutoff for bronze is 250,000 points. So our objective right now is to get 250,000 points as fast as possible, and then die so that we can be done with YOLO and move on. And so since we are playing all of the levels individually, we can't quit to menu to skip transitions between levels. But since we've already seen the cutscenes, then the donation incentive has been satisfied, and I can skip cutscenes now to save time. Because there's a riddle that is to skip cutscenes in 10 different levels in a row, and so now we are working towards that. We're going to get, I think, like 7 of the 10 in this mode, assuming nothing bad happens. Don't have a convenient wooden plank to knock on.
Hey, donation tunnel 1.
Yeah, Kellerman likes to call the Heartbreak levels donation tunnel because there's generally not a whole lot going on in them. And so they're kind of nice, natural downtime in the run itself. And so for particularly busy marathons, they're an opportunity for hosts to read off donations.
Well, I think for this one, we can all just kind of, chill to the tune.
Yeah.
We're all here. We all I gave our little blurb on what we are and why we're here. Just relax and enjoy.
Oh yeah, chill tunnel 1.
We have all of our donation incentives coming in for tomorrow, so check those out. But yeah.
So yeah, there's a category that we've occasionally joked about but never actually done because it would be a nightmare. I think I think I called it Hell Percent when I first jokingly suggested it. That's to get all of the level-specific riddles in YOLO Arcade. So, like, because going for the 20 riskies would be absolutely terrifying right now, because if we die here, then we would need to play through Clair de Lune and Heartbreak 1 to get back here.
Ooh, I might try that one day.
Ooh,
I can't make it too. I can't.
I mean, it would be more terrifying if it were the it would be far more terrifying if that were later in the game. But like, you only have to do it twice, or two levels rather. If you mess up.
I think I got all the goods there. Yes, I did. Whew. So now that's out of the way, and I'm not going to have to worry about it later on.
If anyone wasn't there when we first went over it, there is a riddle, which is, in a devilish fight, I am only good, which is to get all 15 of the QTEs on that level as goods, not perfects and not okays, and it's like, I think generally considered one of the most unpleasant ones.
Because some of the riddles require you to be very, very good. Some of the riddles require you to be very, very bad. But that one requires you to be very, very medium. And it is very easy to be either slightly too good or slightly too bad. And so I find that one to be the most inconsistent out of all of them. Because it's be exactly this level of bad and no worse. And if it asks me to be very good, which there are some levels that do, then I can do that. If it asks me to be absolutely dreadful, which there are a level or two that it asked me to do, then I can do that. But if I have to be an exact medium amount of bad, that is kind of tough. So yeah, this is only the second time that we've actually had to play Begin Again in its entirety. In a normal run up until we found the only glitch that we have, this would have been the fourth time that we were playing this level. And so, in every run up until this week when we found that glitch, we had to play this level 5 times every single full run. Which gets old fast. Oh. That's bad. Oh well.
Ooh.
Shame, yes.
It happens.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest time losses out there.
Yeah, it could be worse. It could have been Tree Coin.
Yep.
So, okay, so the way that this run tends to go, this segment of the run at least, Forest Ghost is the level where we reach that 250,000 point cutoff, and usually, and so the first coin in Forest Ghost is right next to a tree. I think it's right between a tree and a rock. And so we call it Tree Coin because it's right next to a tree. And oh boy, is it really easy to hit that tree. The very first run I did of this category, I hit that tree when I was going for Tree Coin. when I had 245,000 out of the 250,000 points I needed. And that was heartbreaking. That made me a sad cactus.
That's why there's the art.
Yes, that is why Treecoin has fan art.
Yeah, so Lanku brought up
donation tunnel again.
Yeah,
I actually have a donation.
nice.
All right, I'll slip that in here. We got a very generous $100 donation from our very own Megmac Attack, who was the firefighter when the restream backend went down. So I hearts in the chat for that amazing effort. Thanks for a great day one of the marathon, everyone. This has been amazing. Smiley face. We have met almost half of our goal in the first day of the marathon. It would be amazing if we could actually tip over to that before the start of day 2. We'll be well on our way to meeting our 4096 goal. But yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, super cool.
This game is always a really high grossing category in a charity marathon. I'm seeing some strong love in the chat. Yeah, Lanku brought up something great. That is the 3 devils are named Lucy, Ibby, and Sam. Each cute little nicknames of a well-known. And that's something we only see in the game code. Each developer has its own identifier in the code.
So yeah, see, this is part of why my estimate was kind of generous, because my PB is like 159 something, I think. I'd have to double check. And my estimate that I put in was 2 hours 20, because I wanted to give myself room to screw up this segment and not like be massively overestimate. Now, due to issues outside anybody's control, that estimate turned out to be fake anyway, but since this was the last run of the night to begin with, it's not a huge deal. If it was going to happen, this is kind of about the perfect time for it to have happened. Because there's not another run after this that I'm throwing off, and it's early on, so we're vibing.
We still did save. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
We still did save like 9 minutes. With begin again.
Can we call that glitch cube root if it lets us go from doing begin again cubed to just begin again?
I love it.
Yeah, if we can consistently get it to...
We can't even... Yeah. Nothing about that glitch is consistent. This time it was inconsistent in our favor, though, and we take those.
Lanku says cube route.
Maybe it's like if you've been playing the game long enough, because that... I don't know, that tends to make it... If there's audio glitches, that tends to be if you've been playing the game long enough. I have no idea.
We haven't hit an audio glitch yet, which is nice. But we have a consistent plan for fixing those. I really hope that leaving the game running for like half an hour before you start your run isn't the way to make that glitch consistent, because if it is, then running is going to become exhausting, and I'm just not going to go for it.
I always love the joke about YOLO that it's a good way to listen to the album on repeat all the way up through perhaps Dead of Night or Forest Ghost. I got really obsessed with YOLO and made so many attempts when I tried to do a all coins run of YOLO. It didn't go very well.
That sounds scary. Dead of Night very rarely gets me anymore. Well, most of the levels very rarely get me anymore, but it was certainly
So there's our rescues.
Yeah, YOLO is kind of like finding new ways to die simulator.
Yeah, like the way that we just died there several minutes ago now. I hadn't died in that specific spot ever, I think. But yeah, we got our 10 riskies in YOLO, so we got our riddle that's get 10 riskies in YOLO.
That comes pretty naturally, right?
Yeah, we don't usually have to go out of our way to chase that one down.
Y'all mind if I pop in again for a second?
Go ahead.
Alright, thanks to a rather kind anonymous $130 donation, we are at halfway to our goal for the marathon at the end of day 1.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, the donation comment, unexpected glitches and dragon smooching are always worth donating for. I agree.
Yeah, this is an exciting game to watch, even if you're playing it casually. Watching speedruns as a speedrunner is kind of distinct to watching speedruns as a casual viewer, but everybody who shows up in my streams when I'm streaming on my own channel always points out how gorgeous the visual design and soundtrack are. And so one of the reasons that I think this game makes a good speedrun in a marathon is that it's fun to watch just on its own. And so it's kind of okay that we don't have a whole lot of like tech going on that makes the run interesting to watch, because the game itself is interesting to watch. I've done a bit of thinking about like what makes a speedrun interesting to watch. And occasionally about how you would design a game to be good at being speedrun. Because I have occasionally toyed with game development myself in the past, and so questions like, what kind of systems are, like, what kind of glitches are interesting for speedrunners to exploit, but not, like, ruining the experience for casual players to the point where you actually have to patch them. And so, like kind of like figuring out what makes what makes speedrun tech engaging. And it's not a thing where there are unique answers, but it's a thing that's fun. It's a fun thought exercise sometime to watch a speedrun and go, what is it about this speedrun that makes it like engaging to watch or not engaging to watch from a mechanical perspective? Okay, so we're going in with 241, so we should be pretty good. I'm not going to go for tree coin, because I don't want to have to die again. That would make me a sad cactus. So I'll call out... Yeah, so tree coin is coming up here. Is passing us by on the left in a bit. Yep, right there. I'm not going for it, because dying there would make me very sad. And so this whole segment where we're riding our dear friend or whoever, we can't die in any of this. If we screw up a quick time event, we don't die, it just waits for us, and it will wait forever. And so we just want to hit 250 during the segment so that we can die the moment it ends. which we have now done. And so we get off of the deer, and we face plant into a tree. And we get game over.
Gorgeous.
And we get bronze rank. And we get the riddle. And at long last, we can start Album Arcade, which is the last arc of the run.
Cutscenes.
Oh, yes. Oh, and I did the okay. So, that is unfortunate, but we take those. So it has to be 10 different levels in a row, which means that farming these is going to take a minute. But thankfully, we don't have to actually play the level. We can just skip the cutscene, quit to menu, move on.
Oh, clever.
Skip the cutscene, that's 3. Quit to menu, move on.
That is how it was done before we consistently developed the ability to
4.
to play the levels without throwing.
That one doesn't have
Nice.
a cutscene.
Dan says, I am sad that not tree coin. Are we getting tree coin in the album?
Yeah. So that's 5, I think. I don't know, I'm just gonna keep going until it gives it to me. That's maybe 6. That's maybe 7. That's maybe 8. That doesn't have a cutscene in it. That's maybe 9. And that's definitely 9.
What's your favorite?
And there's 10. What's my favorite what?
Your favorite song to play?
My favorite song to play?
Long ago.
That's
Or to listen to?
I kind of like Doki Doki Rush just musically, although they're all good.
And I think Parallel Universes is probably my favorite, like, non-vocal on both gameplay-wise and the, and music-wise. I think I mentioned it, but like that sort of ostinato, is like, I really like it, especially with the in-game audio.
Yeah, Parallel Universes is definitely one of my favorite songs on the soundtrack, and definitely my single favorite non-boss level mechanically. But I think just like the song for Doki Doki Rush, I kind of like a little bit better. Just like musically. But yeah, all the boss songs are good, all the boss levels are good. All the non-boss songs are pretty decent, all the non-boss levels are pretty decent. So since we've seen all the cutscenes by now, we're just skipping everything. And so I bet y'all are probably starting to get tired of these at this point, because we just had to play them, like, a bunch, but this is the last arc of the level, and we aren't going to be going back for anything after this.
Did we talk about denial, anger, bargain?
Yeah, JPJ mentioned that. I hadn't heard about that before. JPJ, you were in the middle of saying something?
Oh yeah, I was just saying we had half Begin Again that we shouldn't have needed to hear, but that is still that compared to the amount of times we would hear that song, that we expected to have to hear that song at the beginning of this week, that is 1.5 fewer begin agains.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Because ordinarily, before we found this glitch, we would have to listen to that 5 times throughout the course of a run, which is, again, it is such a good song, but it's listening to a 4.5-minute song and playing the level 5 times is exhausting.
Yeah, eventually you sort of get tired of it. Oh, we've got some tech coming up. We're going to faceplant into this car, faceplant into this car, faceplant into this car, and then the magician will say, bruh, and we will say, yes, skip this, because it's slow. And so that is the first of several death skips that we will go for in Album Arcade. Because Album Arcade, we need to play this segment, we need to play this mode, because one of the riddles is to get half of the square coins in this mode. And so whatever we do, we have to play it. But for most of the levels, there's not really a whole lot that we have to do besides get most of the coins. And so if there's a death skip, we can take it most of the time.
And that is why it's actually faster to do the 20 riskies on Doki Doki Rush when we are doing the gold. So the first time through, because if we were doing it in Album Arcade, then we would not be able to use that death skip, and that saves like a second or two, so not a significant amount. But like, it is still quicker than not doing it.
Yeah, and like, I knew that it was meta to route it like that for a while, but the last couple times that I'd practiced, I hadn't like actually done it properly, and so I had taken like 3 attempts to get all those riskies and still get a gold on the level, and then like a couple hours before my run started, JPJ was like, hey Cactus, you should practice the riskies on Doki Doki Rush if you want to go for that in your run. And I was like, that's a good point. And so they showed me the route that gets you both the riskies and a gold rank on the level. And so that is a strat that I picked up a couple hours before the run, which is the best time to be learning new routing, as everyone knows.
Such a cool strategy. I'm really impressed at that.
There's 2 other times that we didn't do in this run, that like the same thing, we could get the riddle in the first when doing the levels of singles, and it would be faster, but those are significantly harder. One of them is The World We Knew, which I do not do, because it saves like a second or 2 if you do it correctly, and it costs you like 1.5 minutes if you die. And I prefer to, I have a tendency to die doing that, so I just prefer to take the second.
Begin Again is like a shower. When I come up to the level, I'm like, do I really have to play it? And then halfway through the level, I'm just jam into it.
Yeah.
That's very apt. When I stream this, I have a tendency to badly sing along with the music.
Badly.
Not particularly great.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
I make my own lyrics too, Claire de Lune, especially if I'm playing YOLO and I'm angry. I think Dan caught that on a couple streams.
If you get bored of playing the game as intended, some other possible ways to play, not necessarily suggested, but possible, are playing it on the DDR dance mat, playing it simultaneously on PC and Switch, and playing it with chopsticks or pencils.
And then a bit of a meme in the score attack community was, instead of going for as high a score as possible, to go for as low a score as possible without dying to reset your multiplier.
A few weeks ago, somebody did manage to get through YOLO Arcade, getting a no rank but finishing it, which is extremely difficult. I believe, yeah, and like, there are some, at least as far as I can tell, some, like, I've found a few, like, absolute lower limits to levels, some with dying, some without dying, but, like, for example, Heartbreak, this level, actually, the lowest you can possibly get, unless I missed something, is 3,700 points. So, that's a fun fact. The lowest on Heartbreak 1 is 31.
Yeah, who did the NOLA? Was that Foxtrot?
Yeah. What the fox?
Yeah, what the Fox, thank you.
Okay. So now we can go for Tree Coin because the stakes are very low. Wait, no. Are the stakes low?
The stakes are low.
We got it.
Wonderful.
Swing.
So we need perfect on all of these, because the hint text is "I am a perfect emperor." That was good.
Good, that's not good.
Yeah, it's vaguely ironic when I'm complaining about good or complaining about perfect. I'm not gonna re-go for Tree Coin because I already went for it once, and if I die and I have to restart on it, then I'm going to be Sad Cactus.
Well, fine, be boring.
That is... Yes, that is what I do.
Wonderful. Nice, Emperor. This is one of the hardest stages in Wild %.
It's... I absolutely despise this, getting the wild. Cactus actually did get... Z did get a wild on, like, just on her, gold run. It was like 27,000 something.
Rip monitor users again. I don't know quite what it is about this level that makes it hurt my eyes, but it does.
Time is actually desynced in this.
Oh,
Like the visual frames don't match up with the input frames. So the inputs do work out normally, but you see yourself moving faster and slower through time. It's only a visual effect. It's so crazy.
I think I remember thinking when I was playing casually, wow, this must be gnarly on to play blindfolded, but I guess playing it blindfolded is actually easier.
It's easier. Yeah, you don't get messed up by that effect. Casually, I was like, what the heck is going on until I figured that. I love Mushroom Level.
Okay, so Laser Love, we don't need to gold it. We can just pick up the coins and be on our way.
Laser Love is easily the hardest wild rank level.
Yeah.
I expect to retry it at least 4 or 5 times if I'm doing wild percent.
When I've done wild percent or any percent, which, like I mentioned, also it's essentially just wild percent plus all riddles, and then you also need to get wilds on the arcades. I've actually gotten pretty lucky. Like I think on 3 wild percent runs and 1 100% run, I've gotten it within like. I think with every run I've gotten it within the first 3. And the wild is 64,700. It's ridiculous.
Oh, well done. Yeah, so I think Lanku mentioned the moon's names are Lana, Nure, Dawa, and Chan, which are the word moon in 4 various languages. Someone on Twitter actually pulled the Unity assets and told us which one was which name, but I don't have that information off the top of my head.
This is a level that I had like a lot of trouble with when first playing the game, and now it is one of my best levels.
Okay, so we're gonna faceplant into this bridge here. And then the magician will help us do our speedrun.
So how many coins are we collecting? Is it close, or is it definitely way more than half?
I haven't taken a look at the coin routing yet.
I haven't counted, but like...
I've never lost a run to that. And there have been times where I missed a bunch of coins and was afraid that I would.
That would be heartbreaking.
Oh yeah, that would be the worst. In a marathon that wasn't on PB pace, it might be alright, because, like, if you just say, let's pretend that we got that, it's not a real run anyway, in the sense of being, like, official, formally acceptable on the speedrun leaderboard. Not the end of the world, but to lose a PB pace run to that would, in fact, make me a sad cactus.
But like the thing is, so there's 68 coins in the whole game, and so you need to get at least 34, and it's like I think I went through and did like a count. Like this was, I think this was even before we cut out a few. But like, I went through and I'm like, well, we get them in this level, and we get these ones in this level, and like, I got to 34 before the last few levels, so we had a lot of wiggle room.
Okay, so I call this paradox boost, because right after the boost wears off, we go really slow. Since the game's an auto-scroller, it needs to keep where we are in the level in sync with where we are in the song, and it will sound weird if it adjusts the speed of the song, so it has to adjust the speed of the us, which means that the boost can't, like, actually make us faster long-term, and so we have to slow way down after we get off that boost, which is mildly amusing, because usually boosts make you fast and not slow. Okay, so we're going to have to do something weird here, and that is nothing. Because the hint text, JPJ, can you check the hint text?
Mm-hmm. A magician made 3 of my wishes come true where 1 became 2.
And where 1 become 2 is the reference to the bit at the end where we slice the boss in half and they turn into 2 bosses, the stereo lovers. And the magician granting our wish 3 times is us skipping 3 times. Now, for this part, since there's a lot of downtime, I like to take and tweet a selfie as a shout-out to Wall of Spain, whose Skyrim run at Games Done Quick 20-something was kind of one of the earliest like speedruns that I remember watching live and going, oh wow, that's really nifty. And there's a bit where he takes a selfie during a part with a lot of downtime where there's nothing he can be doing, and so it is tradition that I also do that. I have that split named selfie time when I'm streaming to myself, or on my own stream. Okay, so this is parallel universes, and we need to not get small hearts.
Okay. Let me find the hint text because it's weird.
Blood pumps, yeah.
Small Libra A, small blood pumps are cursed among snaps and claps.
And the snaps and claps is pretty unambiguously this level, and once you've Googled it, you go, oh yeah, small blood pumps, that's small hearts. It's one of those ones where after you Google it, you go, oh yeah, I kind of get that. But if you haven't Googled it yet, it's like, what on earth does that mean?
That's what happened to me.
Yeah.
I think that if I do blindfolded at a convention, there's definitely group selfie time during World We Knew, during the cheese where you can just hide in a corner and escape the level.
Are we about to get this first try?
Nice.
Yes, we are. That's not often that happens. Actually, it happens sometimes.
I think it's generally, like, I think it generally does happen with these runs.
Okay. Yeah. When I was derusting it, didn't happen very often. But yeah, as tends to be the case, especially with a lot of these harder ones that we're doing in the back half of the run, things are hard, but less hard with a consistent setup. So we're going to face tank these. Because yeah, like the route that we took there is kind of the easiest route to use to dodge all the small hearts and not suffer. And there's another riddle coming up where we will again be doing a thing that is hard but easier with a consistent setup. In the meantime, we've got a boss level and it's slow, and so we are going to continue to faceplant into things. Strategic faceplanting is one of the running themes of this level, or of this run. I would love to skip that bit.
And thanks to Lanku for mentioning that these lovers' names are Blanc and Noah, and when they're combined, their name is Duke.
Would you like to skip this bit?
So yeah, we wind up skipping like half of this level, which sucks because I like this song and I like this level, but the checkpoints are a little configured in such a way that death skips are more efficient to go for than not.
This might be my favorite level to watch. That is mine.
Okay, so we've got a riddle coming up here. 40 times I appear oppositely with the card of the solitary one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
With the card of the solitary one, I appear oppositely 40 times.
3, 4, 5, 26,
That
27,
feels tight.
28, 29, 30, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. And there we go. Okay, so this level is Night Drift. The hint text for this riddle is, I am a worthless chariot. As you may or may not remember, the chariot is the cool car, and worthless...
Like a worthless chariot, I drift in the night.
Ah, yes. And so worthless means 0 points. No small hearts, no big hearts, no square coins, no near misses, no drifting.
I was appalled when I found out it was 0 points and not just drift-only points.
Yeah, this one took me like half an hour the first time, just like grinding it, trying to get a halfway reasonable setup. But eventually we found a route that actually works. Shout out to V input output for... Oh, we just drifted. That's bad.
This is like the most impressive part.
I'm
of
not
that
sure. I'm not sure if we died to get that or not. I don't trust that.
No, you were fine.
Okay.
Yeah, what we just did there, although we restarted because we weren't sure, but you can actually die on this level without... So for most of the riddles, if you die anywhere in the level, then it doesn't give you the riddle. So like if we were doing the small hearts and you died somewhere, even if you didn't actually get any of the small hearts in the level, it would still not give you the riddle. But this one, you can die. And so, especially in this last part, it's nice if you mess up at some point, you can
Which I just did. You can faceplant into a rock, and you're set. Because the only thing it checks is, did you end the level with 0 points on this level?
But one other thing though is you cannot death skip, because face planting into a rock gives you 50 points. That would not matter if that would not matter, or that doesn't ordinarily matter, because you just go back to like the last checkpoint and you don't keep those 50 points. But you do keep the 50 points if you use the death skip. And so you cannot use the death skip, which is unfortunate, because there is a death skip in that level that saves like 3 seconds, which is pretty big in comparison to a lot of the death skips.
I used to like Reverie, and then I played Blind, and I can't look at it.
Okay, so this segment with the Tetrominoes is slow, and so we're going to do more strategic face planting. I would love to skip this bit.
If your entire body is a face, is face planting like a full body collision?
I think there's a case to be made that the answer is yes.
Yeah, are we technically soul planting right now?
We are VR headset planting, I guess, question mark maybe. That's a good philosophical brain teaser for you there. Okay, so the world.
Oh wait, there's our face. At the end
The
of the
world
level.
we knew is really slow, and so we're going to be death skipping a lot. There's like one thing that we have to actually do.
I think
But
we've
the
seen
rest-
enough of this level for now.
And so I've got my cheat sheet pulled up on my phone so that I remember which directions to hold in what order, so that I... Oh. And I'm reading it wrong because I screwed that up, which means I have to die an extra time. Which is why I made the cheat sheet, because if you are it's just the way to do it fast is to make your first death be the same as what you get when you respawn from the checkpoint, so that there are 3 identical deaths. Oh, this is important, because we need to dodge between some pairs of bullets.
Pisces A, in the flat space, I slipped between 2 bullets, quadruple time.
3. Oh, I screwed up. Oh.
You can get all 4 of them in one.
Yeah. Just didn't.
Actually,
1,
Actually,
2, 3, 4.
if you just go straight up and never go left or right, you can get them.
Oh. Yeah, my muscle memory for the segment right before that doesn't really work with that, but yeah. Okay, so we did the thing that we have to do, and now we can go back to skipping. I screwed that up. I have my cheat sheet, and I'm still doing everything slightly wrong. I am burning like 10 seconds on this level that I don't need to be. How will I ever forgive myself? That's a lie, I'm fine.
Could be a minute and a half.
Wait, you can skip the boss?
Yeah.
That's great.
That is actually, we use that one. That's the first death skip we use in. We actually use it in the words.
In gold, when we're playing that level as a single, because you can, if you play well, you can get enough points for gold before that checkpoint, and so you can kind of just have enough points, and so we went for that death skip the first time around. Okay, so this is Heartbreak 5. We're going to do more death skips here. One of them you've seen before, one of them you haven't. So this whirlpool looks really comfortable. We're just going to hang out in there and vibe. So that one's not a faceplant, because it's our boat. And that skips that whole section. And then we get to dust off the good old neck plant. Falling neck first. Pro tip, if you ever find yourself in a fantasy tarot-inspired parallel universe. Don't fall neck first into walls repeatedly, even if there's a magician to bail you out. Don't try this at home, kids. Apologies if my humor is becoming a little more detached from reality. It is 4:30 a.m. local time.
That skydiving part, I never routed it before I tried it blindfolded, so I spent like half an hour dying and figuring out where the deaths are before I got through.
Okay, so we need to slide 25 times on this level, but so as JPJ was pointing out when we died in Night Drift, most of the time the level-specific riddles don't let you die and still get credit for them. This one is different. That's technically a cutscene, so we skip it. This one, if you die, it actually doesn't reset the slide count at all. And so if you get like 20 slides and then die, then you still have credit for the 20 slides. And if you get 2 more and then die, then you have 22, and so on and so forth. And so this one is pretty easy to get here. We could, in theory, get it in gold instead, because there's a...
There is a death skip on this.
Okay, yeah, I didn't get enough fast enough. There is a death skip that we could be using here if we already did that. If we already got the slides when we were playing this level as a single. But, okay, that's just not a good pace to be on. But I can't even get the slides here, and we're allowed to die here. So, having to get the slides in a gold where you can't die and you have to just get it legit is not something that I've ever been able to do, and so I don't go for it.
Gold sides is insane. I had no idea that could be pulled off, but I guess it might. It's amazing. This is already a really tight achievement.
Yeah, except for the fact that you can death abuse.
Yeah, that's a great discovery.
Which I failed to do the first time around. But this time I think I'm just going to farm for it in this section. There we go. See? And now we don't have to worry about it.
I did go back, and I am also very rusty, because I haven't played this game for a while. I went back to see if I could do the slides and gold and all coins all in one, and I did get it, but I did die, which actually costs more time than the death skip in Album would have saved. So it is difficult.
Fascinating. Well done.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah, most of the people in the Sayonara Wild Hearts community mostly either do the riddles speedrunning or the score chasing. JPJ is kind of the only person who's making like really interesting discoveries in both at once. Because the other 2 people who have a time on the leaderboards for all riddles, Whalmer Noir and I, neither of us have even managed to get like all of the wild ranks in the game like casually. Wild rank you unlock after you finish YOLO all the way through. It's above gold and it's the highest score the developers could get, minus a tiny crumb. And so, like, that's kind of JPJ and nobody else who's doing, like fancy routing and discoveries about the way that getting absurdly high scores can interact with getting all of the riddles. It sounds like Calame's expressed some interest in getting into the 100% game as well. I might get into it eventually, maybe as a dare. But it won't be my first choice, because I like the category that I already run. But yeah, and so, yeah, now that we've done all of the... we have all but one of the riddles, I think, and the last one is to get half of the coins in Album Arcade, which we almost certainly have already, and we're going to be picking up the rest of the coins, except for one. So mostly we kind of just get to vibe at this point. There is one last piece of actual tech in the run, and I will explain it when it arrives. For now, we can just kind of appreciate some soundtrack and some visuals. Host, do we have donations to read off?
At the moment, we seem to be all caught up.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, we hit the halfway mark, which is awesome for the first day of the event. And yeah, I think we can just sort of chill with the flashy graphics and the music.
Finally picked up Place I Don't Know on guitar. It's a pretty fun song, although the syncopation means singing along with it is so...
Place I Don't. That is wonderful. I love, like, I absolutely love all the songs in this game, and like the more I hear them, the more I love them.
I had this album on repeat for a long time.
Yeah, the soundtrack is on like Spotify and everywhere. You can buy it on vinyl, although I'm not sure if you can right this second because the Annapurna Interactive Store is probably on hold due to pandemic. But
nice,
it exists, and you can get it.
Nice full combo on Death, by the way.
And then we get dabbed on again, one last time for good measure. Then we get to see the Eye of Death, just kind of vibing. We skip a cutscene. And I'm not sure quite when the stream went down during this level when we were playing through it the first time around, but didn't miss anything super vital because we get to play it a second time.
I think it opened up with the moon revisitation, so
yeah, I remember where I was when the stream came back, but I don't know where the stream was when the stream died, because it took me a non-zero amount of time to notice that had happened and pause.
Well, thanks, Lanku. Yeah, we should watch the Fool Takes the Mask Off cutscene.
Yes,
okay,
yes, I think the one cutscene is the only thing that we need to make sure we keep watching.
There was about a 2-minute chunk in there that got lost, I believe.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, in that case, I'll go ahead and watch that cutscene, because people paid good money to see it.
It's a good cutscene.
It is.
The world record strats for this are, instead of going from side to side, you stay on one side and just, like, move when each set of bullets is shot out, and it's like It's nuts.
I'm baffled by how many slideys you got when you stole the world record. Like, your style points were off the
In the first part, I think you had caught up with me by when.
Yeah. The forbidden technique at the end where I get riskies off most of the shots, the eye fires in the desperation move, that's a fun one, and that catches me up.
I still have trouble with the the combos in the archery section.
Yeah, that's an interesting part.
Okay, so we are no longer the fool because we have conquered our 5 stages of grief. And so, by their powers combined, they are one fool who is now not us and is instead an external symbolization of our depression, who we get to make out with. And that's what I call a fun Saturday night.
Yeah. We discover a part of ourselves.
We're not making out, we're forgiving them with a brief kiss.
Okay, you don't have to be all symbolic. Like, let me just read the text and not do any analysis beyond the surface level, okay?
Okay, well, if you want to read the text, I took that directly from Wikipedia. From the Wikipedia summary for Sayonara Wild.
We make out instantaneously with their cheek. That's how this goes.
Okay, we go for this coin again. And I'm not going to go for all of the points here because I do not want to die 5 times in a row again. I did that in practice. It wasn't fun.
The way you get the most points from that is actually start directly down and then go clockwise. And I forget the exact timing. It is...
That part's a heartbreaker because it's so accurate and sensitive and difficult, and it's right at the end of most of the level. So you get there, you're like, I've got a good score. Is this going to be it or not? Oh, I guess it's...
Yeah, I have... A lot of this is really inconsistent. I have no idea how to get the timing on some of that, but for example, that one section of spinning hearts, before you kiss Little Death / the Fool, you can get 2 of them if you time it right. I don't know how to time it right. I've done it a few times, but it's really inconsistent.
Yeah, it feels like it's down to luck. This level definitely has the lion's share of the points in the game. 850,000 of the 2 million, almost half of the points of the game are available in this.
Okay, so Queen Latifah has told us congratulations on solving everyone else's problems, now go solve your own. We're going to give our dragon a goodbye smooch, and this is JPJ Skip. And we named it JPJ Skip because JPJ found it.
As far as I know, it isn't even that we didn't know this death skip was, that it saved time. It was more that we didn't know you could die here. At least, as far as I know.
And so JPJ Skip carries us right to the end of the level. It saves us 8 seconds, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
And so, time is coming up. She sticks her legs out, we skip a cutscene, we skip the credits.
Nice gold rank.
We get that last fade out, it tells us our score, and... time.
Well done.
Whew, how was that? At least nominally.
Yeah, that's such an impressive run with the new tech.
So, that was Sayonara Wild Hearts, all riddles. Do I have time to squeeze in a little self-promotion?
I'm gonna say yeah, sure.
Okay. Boringcactus.com is my website, and it has links to my Twitter and my Twitch and my everything. I'm lazy and I want to go to bed, so I'm not going to list off all the stuff, but boringcactus.com has links to all of it. Thanks for having me, Edge Case Collective. It was a blast. Thank you to JPJ and Calumet for being on my couch. Thank you to my boyfriend in Metamorph for not being too mad at me for talking this loud at 4 a.m. And thank you to you for stopping by watching the stream. Nice to have y'all.